So welcome everyone to the Global Game Jam 2023. I'm incredibly happy to report that today we have the largest site in London, and this is a trend that we managed to keep for the past 4 to 5 years. So, thank you so much for coming here today. Thank you. Now, for the ones of you who don't know me yet, my name is Zucconi. I'm the Director of Studies here at Goldsmiths, where I also am leading the MA and MSc Computer Games program. And I've been working in the game industry on and off pretty much for a bit more than 10 years. And one of the latest games I worked on that maybe some of you might be familiar with was Pikuniku, which is a game that was quite unusual, but I think it was really nice having it finally released. And chances are that if some of you have been trying to learn Unity shaders online, you might have found some of my tutorials, because I've been writing way too many tutorials. Now, before we properly start and we announce the theme, I also would like just to give a shout out to the two sponsors that we have for today and that made the event possible. One is Coherence, and we actually have the co-founder and CTO there. Tadej. Thank you so much. In case some of you are using Unity and they're keen on doing something that is multiplayer, well, Coherent is a multiplayer engine that integrates fully with Unity, and if you use it, you have a chance to win $10,000. So, maybe I will start using it. Today we'll also give a presentation later to show you how to use it, but it's fairly easy to deploy. We tried it on the network yesterday. Everything was working fine, so if you want to make something quick and multiplayer, that's probably a good way to go. The second sponsor that we have is Yahaha. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, but I'm not sure because nobody from them could be here, unfortunately, today. And Yahaha, it's a free-to-use platform that you can use to create, share, and deploy games. And they have over 1 million assets. And unlike the one from Unity that don't always work or you don't know what to expect, they pretty much work just with drag and drop. So it's pretty easy to use, especially if you've never made a game before. And Yahaha is very keen to give $100 to every group that actually make a game, regardless of what kind of game you make. So I think, it's kind of interesting if you want to play with that. And you can find more info on the leaflet that you all have on your table in case you want to join. And I think, the sponsors are really great because on top of supporting us with those tools, they're also providing free pizza for us. So, I think that already it's worth of applause. So, on top of that, I also want to thank you, Goldsmiths, that is allowing us to give the space where we're doing this event. And in particular, I want to thank all the people that made this event possible. And this includes Luke and Nikki from the tech team. You can see Nikki there. We also have the... You can see we also have a dog mascot going around. What's his name? Hamish. Is he called Hamish? Yeah, giving the spirits up. And of course, the students volunteering as well that will be here with us for the entirety of the day. So a big thank to them as well for the sacrifice of staying here. Now, I know that some of you are students from Goldsmiths, but quite a few of you actually are external. So you've never been here or it's your first time, maybe even in South London. So I just want to spend a couple of words to let you know that Goldsmiths is a vibrant university in the heart of South London, and we're surrounded by art communities. We have a quite nice and beautiful campus, and we also have a very nice park at the end of this building in case you want just to go around and have a bit of a walk. And of course, you're free to roam around and look for, the facilities we have, the spaces we have, the labs that we have. Maybe not for too long because, code is not going to write itself. But besides that, we have cafes, cafeterias, we have canteens, we have shop all around, so you're free to come and go at any time while the building is open. In case you want to get something outside, you want to shop, so you're more than welcome, even to bring food in here if you need. We also have gender-neutral toilets in case you're needing one of them. There, you can just follow the signs there. They're on this side. And also we have showers, which might be needed if you stay with us 48 hours. So if that's the case, we have showers as well. I don't know if you have a towel, but hopefully we have that you cover. Now, a couple of pieces of information. So the building technically closes at 10. So you're more than welcome to stay and to sleep here if you want, because we'll stay, the building will be open, but the main entrance will be closed. So if you stay in and you come in and leave in after 10, then you can use the secondary entrance that is next to the security office. You just need to, yeah, you can go in that corner there. You just need to let them know, and they will let you open. If you have a golden wristband, they will let you know. So if you don't have one, find me, and I can, or the students there, and we can give you one so you can come in and come out. Also, there is no smoking on campus, but if you are at night and you want to have a sort of cigarette breaks, you can smoke in a courtyard, and security is okay with that, just because it's not worth it to, come and leave and call them every time just if you want to smoke a cigarette. So hopefully you can do that as well. Also, I've been told that the sofas in the canteen and cafes are very, very comfortable to sleep. Do with that information whatever you want. The canteen is just there, in case you need it. We didn't have any beds this year, unfortunately, but again, the canteen is just there if you need it. Also, we're not planning on any fire drill, so if you hear the fire alarm, just leave the building immediately. And it's, the point where you can come out is just literally there. So hopefully that should be easy. Should be easy for us in case there's any fire alarm. Hopefully nobody will set fire to the building, but I can't promise that. But we'll see. Now, I know that, of course, if you're here, it's because you want to make a game. But not just any game. You want to make a game in 48 hours. And I think that this is crazy, especially as a game developer who has been working on projects that last years, sometimes decades. I think, it's incredible that we're able to make a game in such a short amount of time. So what is the plan? How can we actually make it? Well, on your leaflet, you all have a timetable, but just in case, this is how we're planning. So in a bit, I will reveal the theme of the Global Game Jam, so the theme of the game that we've all been working on. And around 5, we can probably start making the thing already. Around 7 or probably 8, depending on how people are feeling, we can get pizzas. And please let us know your preference, because I know that some of you have dietary preference and requirements. So we'll try to get pizzas that satisfies everyone if we can. So we'll do our best. And again, after that, the building closes at 10. You're more than welcome to stay or to go home at any time. We have breakfast every day at 9 a.m. and it will look pretty much like that. So biscuits, tea, and coffee. We also have coffee, hot water throughout the day and the night in case you need it. So you can get a bit of energy from that. And what we're really trying to enforce is that at 5 p.m. every day, we would like to have a playtesting session. My students that are here know that I'm obsessed with having them playtesting stuff, because I think it's the first problem when you have a game. People are not playtesting them enough. So we have so many game enthusiasts here and actual game developers. So please, 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 let's make the most out of that. Let's make it a bit more social. So around 4 or 5, we'll have some music, and hopefully everybody can start playing each other's game and getting feedback and knowing how we can do it. So the Global Jam ends at 5, and this means that we need to submit by 5. So around 4, I'll start pinging you all. The deadline is flexible, because I don't know if the server for the Global Game Jam can actually handle the traffic. So they said it's a flexible deadline. But, I would say submit as soon as possible, just because you never know what happened. And after that, we can have some playtesting, some wrapping up. We can, clean the room, and you're more than welcome to leave. And at the end, there will be a certificate for everyone that is still here if you survived. So if you register on the website, I have a certificate for you already printed, and I will just give it to you on Sunday if we all survive the event. Now, I know that this type of event, game jams like these, making games in 48 hours, are quite unusual way to work. This is not how we work in the game industry. And what is good about it is that we start at 5, we finish at 5, it's 48 hours, and the game will be finished. Whether or not you think it is, what have you done? It's that. That's the game, how it is. And because of this pressure, there's one big problem that I'm really afraid some of you might end up with. And this is burning out, which is quite common, not just on events like this, but even in the game industry as well. And so I want to spend a few minutes and maybe give you some advices on hopefully how to avoid burning out during an event like this that is so intense. So first of all, I know that you all want to pack as much work as possible to get your thing done. This often means that you will sacrifice things like sleep, for example. And because of that, if you don't sleep, I don't think your code will actually work very well. And as a result, you'll probably be very unhappy about whatever you're coding. And as a result, you're pushing more work, you're working harder, and you're not sleeping, and you ended up in this vicious cycle that is very hard to break. And you ended up working a lot, but achieving very, very little. And so my advice for you is that, yes, of course, you need to allocate time for the graphics, you need to allocate time for the code, for the music, for the story, for the playtesting, but I also want you to allocate time for food and sleep, because they are part of the development. In the same way you cannot make the game without the coding, you cannot make the game without the sleep and food. So please make sure that you take some necessary break to make that happen. And you know, if you ended up working in a place that doesn't allow you that, maybe leave. Maybe that's not a good place. But again, this is not a practice that we want to sort of push in the game industry, but it's just that we're here to have fun, right? So that's why we can do it for a weekend, but no more than that, hopefully. Now, another advice, the second advice I would like to give you is that I know that some of you would like to make the game as good as you possibly can. And there is a problem. We have no time for that because we only have 48 hours, right? So my advice is that when you're working on something, is it good enough? Move on. Because 48 hours, they go pretty quickly, and you'll see. So try to make something that works, but don't overthink it. Is it good enough? Okay, done, ship it. Let's move to something that is next. And for the ones of you who have never made a game before, I know some of you never have, this is a very good way to learn how to prioritize and deliver, especially for people that are new to development in general. And I think it's very important because a finished game is better than an incomplete masterpiece because nobody will ever play it. You know, I think we can argue about that, but I think it's a valuable lesson. Finish your game, because if your game is not finished, you will not be able to submit it. And then, you know, what was the point of it? So make sure that you can finish it, make sure that you can move on. And because of that, my third advice for the people that are starting game development just now is that maybe there is a massive game that you had in your head and you want to make it. Do not make that. This is not the time to make that game at all. So the analogy that I would like to push you is that don't make a main course. Make a tasty appetizer that leaves me wanting more. So if your game has 10 levels and 3 bosses, it's already done. It's already over. So take your game, take the best idea you have and make it as pure as possible. Condense it into something small that gives you an idea of what the potential of your game has. So don't aim to make, you know, anything that is gigantic. And in fact, if you look at games that sorry, I need to drink. If you look at games that have actually been released over a few years in the game jam and it actually made it, we can see that the ones that were most successful were the ones that started from a very simple idea, executed very well. Does anybody recognize this game? Anybody? Awesome. So this game is Surgeon Simulator from 2013. So it was actually started as a global game jam. And fun fact, we actually have some people from Bossa Studio, the studio that work on this game, here today. Can you raise your hands? Hello. So I think it's impossible to talk about Global Game Jam without mentioning Surgeon Simulator, which probably is the most, well, definitely is the most successful game that came out of it. The theme at the time was the sound of a heartbeat, and what made this game so iconic? Well, it's the fact that it's an incredibly simple concept, both to play and to realize. I mean, maybe I will think differently, but it looks incredibly simple. It's a small concept, it's in its purest form, and its gameplay is well executed. So this is the key to making global game jam games. Making something small that is super, super nice to play, and it's pure gameplay in its form, because there is no time to play on assets, there is no time to make, all this kind of content. So make something small, manageable, that you can work, then different people can work on at the same time. And I think those constraints can be really nice for the creativity, for foster your creativity. But, if Surgeon Simulator is an exceptional game, it's not the exception. In fact, there are many other games that became quite popular and started as Global Game Jam game. This is Through, just 1 year later, and Through is possibly the only game on Kinect that makes sense, although there aren't games on Kinect, so that's actually easy. But basically the theme at the time was, we don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. And in the game, you use your own shape on the Kinect to project a gateway into another world, and your character can jump into those two worlds using your silhouette, which is incredible concept, super simple, amazing game. From the same year, there's another really well-executed game called Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes that makes really good use of the constraint of the Global Game Jam. So again, another very successful game that I'm sure some of you are familiar. And just, to name another one that I really like, we also had Mushroom 11 from 2012, different Global Game Jam, and it's an incredibly creative and unique gameplay. You have this sort of mushroom slime thing, and with your mouse you can delete part of it and it grows on the other side, so you can control how it's moved. Incredible gameplay, very unique. Try to aim for something like that. Don't remake Super Mario, please. I mean, if you won't make it, but you can make so much more, and I think this is the opportunity to go crazy on your ideas. Now, I've shown you some examples of games that started as Global Game Jam prototypes, but I can see that with so many examples of games that are very successful, I just don't want you to feel intimidated by what we are trying to do here. Those games were indeed successful, but the real reasons why we call them a success is because nobody expected them to become so big. And I think that this leads us to a very important point, that success. What is success if not meeting or exceeding your expectations? And this leads me to the fourth advice that I have for you, which is that you can define what success means for you because you decide what you want to make. So you're setting up your boundaries for failure or success by deciding what you want to get out of this event. For you and for your games. Do you want to sell 1 million copies for the games you make today? I'm very sorry, you're very likely going to be very disappointed. Or do you want to make a game and ensure that you're having fun and eating pizzas and coffee late at night? Perfect! Then your game will be a success because you're meeting their expectations. So try to make something that, that fits within those expectations. And of course, it doesn't mean that you have to lower your standards. That's not what I'm asking. What I'm saying is that being realistic with what you can deliver and try to make the most of a game and a gameplay that you can, and maybe push yourself out of the boundaries. We have so many people that have so many different skills. Some have skills that don't even know that they have yet. So try to be creative. This is the moment where you can actually do it. And I understand it's not easy because we only see games through the lens of success. The only games you play are games that made it. So we don't see the games that didn't make it. And for any games that you play, there are probably 1,000 or 10,000 games that didn't make it or they didn't even get finished. And you don't want to be that. So try to make the most of the time and the resources that we have today. And finally, from me, the last advice I have is simply have fun and eat pizza, or maybe not too much, because after all, that's what we're here for. I mean, it's a global game jam. The purpose is to make games, but it's mostly to connect with people and to be able to connect with a hobby and with something that is our passion. So this is the main purpose. So let's try to make it social. Let's try to make it enjoyable. Let's try to make it fun. Don't kill yourself to make a game that probably nobody will play, but use this time to have fun and make new connections, and perhaps even professional connections. Who knows? Now, I think that I've been talking enough for today. So what I want to do now is to show you a short video from the executive director of the Global Game Jam, Tim Collins, that will probably set the tone for the game. And after that, we'll do the theme reveal. So hopefully you'll see what kind of games you might want to work on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Global Game Jam 2023, and for the first time, Global Game Jam Next 2023. My name is Tim Cullings. I'm the Executive Director here at Global Game Jam, and I want to thank everyone that helped make this event possible for you all this week. Thanks especially to our Board of Directors, our great staff, our committee members, our regional organizers, and our site organizers. And I want to send a special personal thanks to all the site organizers out there. Make sure that while you're jamming this week that you find your site organizer and thank them for all the hard work that they've done to put on this event for you. Some of them have been working weeks, maybe months to make this event possible. I myself am helping to organize a site here in Seattle that I've done since 2016, and we have a great time every year, and I know the amount of work that it takes to make that happen. So I empathize with what you're doing and really appreciate it. And I hope everyone out there that's jamming appreciates your efforts and lets you know and gives you a little bit of extra thanks this weekend or this upcoming week while they're jamming. Thanks to all of our volunteers globally and locally who help make this all possible, our speakers who you'll be hearing from just after me, and our great sponsors who really helped make this whole thing possible, and we couldn't do it without, especially our headline sponsors, Big Bang and Coherence. Make sure you go to the sponsor page or the Jam dashboard on our website. Check out all the great offers from our sponsors. There's so many free offers this year for you to take advantage of while you're jamming, to learn some new technology, to try some new things. So make sure you go check that out. The sponsor page, the Jam dashboard on our website, and find out all about the great offers that you can take advantage of. Make sure this week that you listen to each other, support each other, get some rest, and also eat some good food. I'm sure you'll be eating a lot of pizza, of course, but make sure you get some good nutrition while you're jamming to keep your energy up and keep each other happy and healthy. And make some games, make memories, make friends, and have a great time. And good luck to you all here at Global Game Jam 2023.
So, are we ready for the theme reveal? Ready? So, this year's theme is roots, and you're more than welcome to interpret that in the most literal or in the most loose sense that you want. It's just supposed to help you drive your creativity with some constraint. It can be plant roots, cultural roots, heritage, square roots and mathematics, or hair roots, whatever you can come up with, that's perfectly fine. So hopefully that helps. Also, if you haven't checked or if you don't know, there are also diversifiers for the Global Game Jam. This means that if you go on the website, there are special sort of tags you can add to your game to make it more different, a bit more diverse. So have a look at that in case there are some that you can think can fit whatever games you want to make. Now, with that being said, I just have one last thing to ask you. Please, whatever you do, let's go make something awesome. Thank you so much.